I don't want to come up with a budget finalized and present it to the commission that's not something you're in agreement with, or, you know, we might be differing on manpower and some of those issues. And I think we'll be wasting time to redo it, so I'd rather, I prefer to get with you guys and to do it that way. And I know one of the things that's hanging out there and looming rather large is the audit, as far as, I know they were looking at the complements and the organizational structure. And I don't know where that stands. I don't know if there's a possibility that I would suggest that at least where the budget season is coming up and then you're gonna have hearings and stuff, my fear is that the audit report with the component of this is what the structure we suggest looks like to you guys is after that, then we're stuck. Then we'll be looking at doing something next year. I would think if that's something they've already worked up, maybe that could be communicated to you guys in a meeting, then we'd have some idea what we might be looking at personnel-wise, I think would be beneficial to us.
Right. I mean, understanding the audit is going to make recommendations, and I'm assuming they're going to cover that as well, but, I mean, we use that as a guide.
Right.
It's not 100% whatever is recommended is going to be done. But on that note, I think that we need to prepare for the future. And I think, I mean, ultimately I would like us to have an eligibility list of candidates that are ready to go. And we need to get into that testing process, at least start taking applications and going through the testing, whether it be a written test, oral boards, that sort of thing. So whether we lose people through attrition or we up our complement, that needs to be done, and I don't want to see it wait because it's a long process.
I agree. I think that's important, because I don't even think at this point, do we have a full complement?
No.
No, so, you know.
So our current staffing.
At least with the patrol, do we have a full complement with the patrol?
No.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 23 of 25, and the two positions that were down would have been Captain Cecilio and Lieutenant Klein.
Okay.
So we have 13 in patrol currently, so we're at 23 of 25.
And the other thing with regard, when you're asking about the vehicles, you must have done some research or some work on what the age is of these vehicles and what the mileage is, and if there are certain vehicles that are breaking down more than others. I would think that you would certainly get with John and advise him with regard to that, so he could probably at least have that square in his mind.
He's already on top of that, he's already asked me to put some numbers together.
So that those areas that can be basically buttoned down as far as, you know, knowing, I would think that you would at least get those out of the way. And like Clark just said, that it really would be a good idea to have an eligibility test. That way there we could...
I agree. I think in the manifest you'll find that already in there waiting in the manifest is payment to be approved for the ads and stuff to go out,
Okay.
which has been waiting. So we've thought about that to get a jump started, because it is going to take some time to do. We need to get in front of it.
If my calculations are correct, the positions that we have is chief, captain, lieutenant, 3 sergeants
Yes,
currently, and that would leave us 17 patrol officers.
Sorry, well,
Not counting detectives. So how many detectives?
the detective sergeant and 3 detectives.
Okay, so 3 detectives come out of the 17.
Yes.
For a total complement of 23.
Yes.
So we have 14 patrol, uniform patrol, 3 are detectives, 3 are sergeants, whether it's detective sergeant or on the street, or we have 4 sergeants.
sergeants, one
We have
sergeant.
4.
Yeah,
Okay.
one's detective.
So we have 13 in patrol.
Right.
In reality, with the vacant slots, through the attrition that we went through, we could get 2 more patrol officers to get the complement up to 15.
I think that's what we had said at one time.
That would be 25,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
So why, we should be proactive in trying to fill those 2 slots. And I know that, you know, the manifest is stuff, and that was, you know, a good segue for us to get into, but we needed to look at that, so. In reality, we're down 2 patrol officers if we leave the command staff as a chief, a captain, a lieutenant, a detective sergeant, and 3 patrol sergeants. Right?
Yes.
That's depending on what the recommendation is.
I'm pretty confident, knowing what I know, that they would probably recommend that, but I'm not gonna say it soon because we
But
we
you know,
know what happens there.
all
but-
that being said, I think it's a very good idea, and the captain has said that he's already been working on that with regard to getting people to have that eligibility test so that you start the process, so that, you know, you can move right into that next phase of it when you're ready to do it.
Well, why don't we get the manifest and see what are we
Yeah, we need
talking-
to, the manifest is the
talking?
next item anyhow.
Okay, what are we talking for,
Can we have the
money for
manifest?
ads and stuff?
I think it's $600 or less, I believe, somewhere in there.
This one here is already ready to be approved.
So why don't we move forward then with that? And at least advertise, and what's it, I mean, the cost of taking applications is the advertising and then testing. It can't be too cost prohibitive to do testing analysis, right?
It's in this one?
Written test.
Probably a little overtime for assistance to help with the testing, the physical
Or
agility.
boards, we get some people from other departments that will assist, so it's a minimal cost. And whether we go with currently certified or non-certified, we're still
Not in that
talking
one.
some months out.
It's not in that one, not in that one.
Not in here?
That's
Training
be in this
dues.
one, sorry.
This one?
It has to be in that one because it's not in that one. We can get this
I
one
don't
done
see it
too.
right. I don't see it there.
While you're looking.
All right.
I'd like
While
to-
you're looking, Commissioner Carolian, it's not in that one?
Not according to this.
Do you know which one it is?
No, it's supposed to be.
I'm just going by the face sheet.
Oh, here it is, I guess. Right here.
Yep.
Selection of process, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, while you're looking through that,
All right, well.
Commissioner
Yep.
Scherer has the manifest that was already approved that you reviewed,
Yes?
okay? You make a motion to approve it so we can get that out of the way.
Which one was that?
Okay, this is the vehicle maintenance for the, it was the brake service.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was, oh, wait. Yes,
Yes.
okay, all right. I move that we approve a manifest dated September 29th for amount of $281.45, which for brake service,
I'm sorry, read the amount again.
$281.45
Thank you.
for service already.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? This is the one that,
That's the one about the bids? Or
Yes.
the ones that went out?
and we have had a lot of discussion about that,
Not bids, but quotes.
about quotes. Do you want to restate it?
Well, I think what we'd like to say is that we'd like to maintain integrity of the process of requesting quotes from vendors. And maybe it would be prudent to contact them and just reassure them that we'll be requesting a one-time quote, and that we want their best number, and that we will be awarding service to the lowest quote, period.
Okay. Did I take a vote on the motion?
No, you did not.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion to approve the $281.45 for September 29th for the invoice,
Bids.
signify by saying aye. and give that to them.
I mean, our sentiments are known, right? As to why we were looking at that.
And I heard what was being said, and I gave an explanation to the chairwoman.
If you would like to make your
I mean,
statement.
I'll go straight. I mean, I had a car with pulsating brakes.
Right.
Wasn't due for a brake service according to what records I had. Didn't know what was wrong with it. I had to bring it down to get it diagnosed. I had the diagnosis done, and then I put it out for bid. Obviously, State Motors did the diagnosis, entitled to getting some compensation for the diagnosis, which they didn't bill me for. Said that they would consider that if they got the bid. I got the bids, and all I did was make a phone call to them and say, you need to do a little better. Because I knew that they were gonna bill us for the diagnosis even if I went to another company, which probably wouldn't save us any money.
Right.
So I said, you just need to do a little better. I didn't tell them any figures.
Okay.
And they came back with a number, and I said, okay, that's doable. And we ended up not getting paid for the diagnosis because they got the work. And as far as I'm concerned, I saved us, some money in that regards. Other than that, the bids are just what they are. They send me a bid, and I go with the lowest bid. I don't disclose numbers to anybody.
But I question the fact that if you bring something to either a dealership or whatever, the fact that they look at it, they charge you? Why don't the other ones charge you if they've looked at it?
He only brought it to one, the other two don't have to do diagnosis.
I already know what the issue is, so I tell them, hey, I need a quote on this work that needs to be done.
But when you bring a vehicle in, they don't add on the diagnostics on top of the brake job. They find out what the problem is, and then they say this is what it's gonna cost to fix
What
it.
this particular vendor said is if we get the work, we're not charging for the diagnosis.
And they should.
And
Any vendor should.
Right.
When you bring
But if I ended up bringing the work to somebody
someone
else,
they're gonna charge you.
they're gonna charge. So,
Absolutely.
and that's what I was trying to
Okay.
avert by calling them back saying, you need to do better. I didn't tell them what the number was. If they came back and said, we can't do better, then I would've had a dilemma where I would've said, hey, I'm gonna go to the lowest bidder, but I'm probably gonna get a backdoor bill from them on the diagnostics that they did, so. And that's how that all went down.
Just the one thing that I would add, I mean, as long as we're cognizant that we want to maintain integrity of that process, and you assured me that you
I'm fully
are.
aware.
The only thing I would say is in the future, it might be prudent to make everybody, I mean, obviously in the interest of time, if time allows,
I felt that.
give the other vendor the opportunity to do his own evaluation.
No.
Tell him, well, and then you're in a catch-22, I guess.
I'm looking for a way to do it the way the commission, I'm sensing wants me to do it. I'm trying to save the money that obviously everybody is sensitive to. And it's a juggling act sometimes during the month to try and get the numbers that I feel fit best for what you're looking for. I'm certainly, appreciative of your input and how you want it done. It gives me that much more that I can use to move forward here, to do what you want me to do, so.
Understood.
I guess the other thing that we discussed, and I discussed with Captain Daigle, I guess this was already done prior to that with regard to the lunches and how it,
Yes.
okay? Apparently, the practice of this department was that people that went for training, and in this case, 2 of them had gone for training, that they allowed $12, and that's what they paid. I feel that the practice should be, whatever the lunch is, that's what we should be paying, that they need to come in with their receipt. The sky is not the limit. That they need to come in with their receipt, and that's what the town is looking for.
They do that.
They are doing
That has been past practice. And we don't pay, actually, it has not been the practice, we allow up to $12 for lunch. That doesn't mean they're gonna get 12. They have to bring in a receipt and the actual amount gets,